Let's continue to build on working with guides and working with aligning shapes and shapes in general. So I've got my test file open. I'm going to just throw in some random forms and just get this loaded up with some stuff. Now, if you want to make a, say for example, a perfect circle, of course one way you could do that is to click and type it in here and you're going to have that perfectly scaled. But to work with any of these shapes, if you want them to come in proportionate, what you would do is you would click, hold down the shift key and drag. Click and drag. If you want to have the not only proportionate shape, but you want to come from the center of the shape, you in PC you push Shift Alt and drag. So that's coming from the center of the piece. I'm also going to add some color just to kind of mix things up here a little bit. I'm going to actually locate my swatch palette, and you'll notice that if I put my mouse tool over these different icons here, it will tell me what they are. Now I believe swatches is up here. There's color guide and colors, swatches. Okay, so here's swatches. I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to use that one. Close this for now. And I'm going to grab the selection tool and I'm going to just start selecting and filling things here. Oops, didn't quite grab that. I'm going to grab a couple. Now to grab more than one thing, you've got the selection tool and you press down on the shift key and you are able to grab whatever you click on at that point. Oopsie, got too many there, don't I? Okay, so we've got some things going on here. First of all, one thing that some people love this, some people hate this, but if you start with Illustrator using smart guides, I think you'll grow to love it. To find smart guides, you go into the View menu and you pull down to Smart Guides right here. And you'll notice that when I, like for example, I've got this over the center, it tells me center. You notice these little pink lines. What it's doing right now is it's showing me that the left side of the circle is aligned to the orange square at the very top of the page, and the top of the yellow circle is aligned to the bottom of the large pink shape. So this is kind of a thing that now I've got this aligned center to center. So it's kind of a neat thing. I have to admit, when they first came out a billion years ago, I was annoyed by them, but I have actually grown to appreciate them. I think they're more useful than I gave them credit. So this is one way to use guides. I also showed you before how you can lock and unlock guides. I'm actually going to unlock this right now. Go to Guides and Unlock. And I'm going to move these to the ½ inch. I'm sorry, to the 1 inch mark. So here it would be, oopsie, 1.5 inches here. Not quite on there. There we go. I'm going to go back in and lock those. So I go to View, Guides, and Lock. So now those won't move. A couple things that I'd like to point out is you'll notice that the ruler starts, I'm going to have to pull this over here a little bit, I think, so you can see it a little better, if it will let me. Goofing around here. Okay, you'll notice that on the ruler here, it starts at 0, and it also, same thing on this side. Now, there will be reasons why you might want to relocate that. So let's say I want to know where this corner is located on the page. So what I will do is, you'll notice I went to the corner, and I'm dragging this here to the anchor, and I release, and suddenly 0 here and 0 there. I have, oopsie, let me get that out of there. And 0 here. You can see that I've relocated that. And what I did is I grabbed this corner up here and I simply dragged. Now, if you need to reset that, all you need to do is double click and it goes back to the original settings. So let me get this back to full page. So that's handy. You never know when you're going to need that, the ability to do that. Another thing that is pretty neat is the ability to align things. So I'm going to go into Windows and I'm going to pull the Align palette up. And oops, I want Pathfinders. I don't want that yet. So I'm actually going to get that out of here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to get rid of these. I am going to keep this out. So with the Align tool, you can select items and have them align in different ways. So for example, let's just see, let me kind of mix these up a little bit so they're not, I already kind of aligned them before. Let's get them a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to marquee these. So I'm selecting just these shapes. And let's see what happens when with some of these various align objects. So here we go. Here's this one. All right. Doesn't seem useful at the moment, but there might be a reason for it to be useful later. Here we go. Okay, so let's look at this now. To top a grid. And now I've got these all aligned here. Now we're aligning to the center, to the bottom. So you get the idea. This is pretty handy. Another thing that you can do is you can change the view of how you're seeing things. So right now, everything I have on the page has a fill in it. And you'll notice, as you've seen before, that these all have centers to them. So sometimes it's good to see the form without any type of fill. And to do that, to temporarily see these without the fill, you would go to View and select Outline. So now I'm seeing the centers of these shapes. So for example, let's say I want to align these up. Now I can tell that's not quite on, and I'm going in with the zoom tool. Maybe they are. There we go. Yes, they are. So those are perfectly aligned. How about over here? Move this over, and I'm going to take this piece. I'm going to zoom in here. Now, I don't know which one's going to be on which one's going to be on top. So when I put the fills back in, we may not see some of these. Let's take a look and see what happens. I go to View, and I go to Preview, CPU. Oh, well, that did work out that way for that. How about the one down here? There is a thing called aligning, and let's say, for whatever reason, I want to have this piece lay on top of that piece over there. What I can do is I select the piece I want to move, and I say Object, Arrange, Bring to Front, or bring Forward. So I'm going to say Bring to Front in this case. Let's say I want to have this piece go back behind. So what I would do is say Object, Send Back. Now if you send backwards, or instead of sending all the way to the back, what it does is it will go back a layer at a time. Another way to do this is to look in the Layers palette. So let's take a look in there. Here we go. So this works a little bit differently than it does in Illustrator, in Photoshop, but you'll notice when you look in here, look at everything that I've got. I've got every one of these individual pieces in this one layer. I've got this one selected, and I know that because right here is a dot telling me that. Let's say I want to select this one instead. There we go. I've got that one selected. Let's say I want this form to be on the very top. Right now, the one that's on the top is this form right here. Let's say, and I can show you that by just going to grab this and pull it over. Oh, we can't see it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm coming over here, and I'm grabbing this layer, and I'm dragging it all the way to the top. And there we go. So this is another way that you can move things. It's just a very, very handy way to go about that.